Hello, all you fit healthy warriors. In this video, I'm going to answer a super popular question that we get all the time. How many calories should a woman eat to lose weight? Welcome to fithealthy.com, the #1 source for fitness, health, and weight loss. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit the bell. So if you want to lose weight, you have to eat less. This is called creating a caloric deficit. By eating less and creating a deficit, you force your body to use an alternative source of energy, namely your fat stores. Exercise can also contribute to this calorie deficit, but only on the days you actually do any. And that's why the easiest and simplest way to lose weight is to focus on your diet. Speaking of diets, if you've ever followed one of the many weight loss diets around, you're bound to have lost weight, but you're also bound to have felt hungry. And why is that? Because most diets are too restrictive and they slash your food intake far too dramatically. Very few diets take into account factors like age and gender, your weight, and how active you are. Regardless of your personal circumstances, they usually just say, eat this, not that. A diet that works for relatively slim, mid-30s women with a desk job will not work for an active, older, very overweight person. Their nutritional requirements are very different. Off-the-shelf diets invariably are aimed at populations rather than individuals, which is why 90% of them fail. Of course, you'll only ever hear about that successful 10% when you're reading about whatever new diet is hot right now. So how do you make sure you're eating the right amount of calories to lose weight safely? Well, the answer is to do some math. Step 1, calculate your BMR. Now, BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. Your BMR is the number of calories you need to consume every 24 hours to sustain your weight without taking into account any activity you might do. Knowing your BMR is important because all subsequent calorie adjustments are made from this initial value. There's several ways to calculate your BMR, but the Mifflin-St. Jean equation is the best. There are two versions of this calculation, but this one is specifically for women. BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times the weight in pounds plus 4.7 times your height in inches minus 4.7 times your age in years. Do all the calculations in brackets first and then do the final calculation. For example, if you're 180 pounds, 5'6" tall, and 35 years old, the calculation would be first, 4.35 times 180, which would equal 783. Second, 4.7 times 66 equals 310. And then third, 4.7 times 35 equals 164. So your BMR is equal to 655 plus 783 plus 310 minus 164. which would equal 1,528. This figure is important. Whatever diet you're on, you should avoid eating fewer calories than your BMR because you're likely to be hungry all the time if you do. And that also may cause your metabolism to slow down, which will slow down your weight loss. Needless to say, neither scenario will make reaching your target weight easier and will probably cause you to quit your diet and regain any weight you managed to lose in the first place. Step 2, factor in your activity levels. Unless you literally never stand up and move, you'll need to consume more than just your BMR. This means you need to adjust your calorie intake to reflect your daily activities. To do this, multiply your BMR by the appropriate activity factor. 1.2 equals sedentary, or you're doing little or no exercise. 1.35 equals light activity, which you're doing light exercise or sports 1 to 3 days a week. 1.55 equals moderate activity, and moderate activity means exercise or sports 3 to 5 days a week. 1.725 equals very active. This means you do hard exercise or sports 6 to 7 days a week. 1.9 equals extra active, which means you're doing very hard exercise or sports and a physical job. Using our previous example and assuming she is lightly active, which means she hits the gym twice a week, that gives us a daily calorie target of 1,528 times 1.357, which equals 2,073 calories. That's the number of calories required to sustain her current weight. Creating a caloric deficit. To lose weight, as I previously mentioned, you need to be in a caloric deficit. The deficit needs to be big enough to force the body to use fat for fuel, but not so big that it causes starvation. Most experts agree that a daily deficit of around 500 calories per day is about right and will result in around 1 pound of fat loss per week through diet alone. Any exercise will result in a larger weight loss. So, 2,073 calories minus 500 calories equals 1,573 calories per day, which will round down to about 1,570 to make life easier. In our example of a woman who weighs 180 pounds, who is 5 foot 6 inches tall and 35 years old, if she eats 1,570 calories per day and burns an additional 200 calories per day through exercise, she can expect to lose around 1.5 pounds of fat per week. Adjusting the numbers. It's important to understand that even such a seemingly detailed calculation is actually only an educated guess and won't work for everyone. Also, as your weight decreases, so too does your BMR. So if you use it to work out how many calories you need to eat per day, you should redo the calculation every few weeks or so to reflect the weight you've lost. And if you find out you're not losing weight at 1 to 2 pounds per week, slightly increase your caloric deficit. But if you're losing more than 3 pounds per week, reduce the deficit slightly. 1 to 2 pounds is your weight loss sweet spot, which means you're losing weight at a slow, sustainable, and healthy rate. While you could lose weight faster, doing so often leads to breaking your diet because of hunger and even loss of muscle mass, which will lower your BMR and cause a weight loss plateau. Slow and steady wins the race. Conclusion. And now you know how many calories you need to eat to lose weight safely. You can create a healthy eating plan that's right for you. But don't be a slave to the numbers. They're only estimates after all. But do make sure you not only control the amount of food you eat, but you also the quality of food that you eat. Eat for health as well as weight loss. And if all this math is a little overwhelming, there's a lot of online calculators that'll help you to calculate the correct amount of calories you need to eat to experience healthy weight loss. Fit Healthy Warriors, I hope this all made sense to you. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, make sure you give us a big thumbs up, and please remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get our upcoming videos when they're released. And here's some other videos that I think you'll enjoy.